that, this implant in a flaccid state can actually give you performance capabilities in a flaccid state, and then even more, of course, in an erect state. I come to find out that now both my ex-wives have had this extensive experience with men with the Himplant. My ex-wife, who did not know that the other gentleman had the implant, they successfully passed it off as natural for 7 years. You are doing more to improve men's lives on a deep psychological, emotional level than maybe any other man in the world. You're talking extra inches of girth. I mean, extra inches of girth is like this. Hi guys, I'm JD, and I just had a fantastic procedure done with the genius and the inventor of Himplant, James Elist. We are in Beverly Hills, California, and I've flown in from Washington State because I really wanted to have this procedure done by the inventor himself.
JD, thank you very much. First of all, I really appreciate that you're sharing your experience with men in the world internationally. Okay, that's very important for us. And it's very, very important for other people to hear directly from somebody like you, okay? How were you feeling about yourself before Himplant? Okay, just tell me a little bit about that story and what was affecting your...
It is interesting because I'm 6'1", I'm a very tall man. And so some people might think, hey, anyone that tall, why would they ever even bother? But I'm thin, I'm slim. And this is the best, under my research, the best way to get a radical gain in girth, especially. And so that really solved that problem. So I'm tall, but I'm not girthy. I'm thin. And so that was very intriguing for me, especially.
Great. That feeling, was it something inside you were just talking to yourself about that? Have you shared that one with anybody, with your partner, with your friend, or anybody that I feel a little bit, low self-confidence, low self-esteem? Did you share?
Yeah, I remember going to like the YMCA and working out at the gym, and I'd be in the locker room, and some of these guys got the size of a pop can, so wide, and me, I'm thin, and so it lingers in my mind. And then sometimes I lose a girlfriend or a lover, and well, where is she? And I find out, oh, maybe he's a stockier guy, a bigger guy, feeling like I'm being out-competed. And so, hey, a guy needs every advantage he could get. And in these modern times, there's a lot of resources and options that we can take advantage of. And thank God that you're bringing some of these options to the public, because because it's really a lifesaver and almost a miracle, essentially, because it puts you back in the game. You no longer feel defeated. You can take charge of your life once again. And so, I mean, that's why I'm just so happy and pleased. And every minute I get to discuss with James Elist, the inventor of Himplant, I'm happy and excited, because it really is a miracle for a lot of men out here.
Okay. JD, what happened in your life that you realized, at this point in time, you have to do something, okay? Why didn't you do it 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 10 years ago? What was the situation? Something happened in your life. Yeah, what was that?
It really is a fascinating story, actually. I am a twice divorced man, and my first wife was sleeping around with a very stocky, girthy man, and it left me feeling less than. Even I'm much taller than him and everything, but he was very girthy. And it clicked with me that I was being beaten out over something just that simple, but not so simple. Then I had a second wife. My second wife was from Asia, and I did all this immigration paperwork and my daughter, and brought them into the country. And one day she says, I've just never been with another white man before, she says. So I just want to get the curiosity out of my system, she says. I says, well, hey, you know what? who am I to stop you? Maybe after that, it's no longer going to be some itch you can't scratch. Little did I know, he had this implant done, and I had no idea. And but he was open.
Partner that she found that had this implant.
Oh yes, yes. So it was just supposed to be a party weekend to get it out of her system, because she's from another country, and she didn't want just I'm the only Caucasian she's ever been with. And so yeah, so she did. She went and spent a weekend with this guy, and then when she came back, I'm shocked, because I'm thinking, hey, welcome back. Let's get back to life. And instead, she says he was able to, and I'm not even exaggerating, that he was able to make love for 24 hours. And I'm just, of course, I instantly think, well, you're exaggerating or kidding or prodding me or something. But, I look at that facial expression that day, and, she was serious. And now that I understand, as time went by, that, this implant in a flaccid state can actually give you performance capabilities in a flaccid state, and then even more, of course, in an erect state. And so I thought they were kidding. I wish I would have delved into it deeper then, because I would have realized what a distinct advantage that it really is. And so, I was able to better understand how I was, defeated on a scientific level to some extent. And sure enough, it is a extremely competitive advantage. And I think any guy that, wants to step up their game and be as competitive as possible. And that's me. I was the guy that was good at every sport. I was the guy that took competition very seriously in every aspect of life. And so here I am, I'm carrying out that same tradition, just on a whole nother category, a whole nother level.
Thank you. Thank you very much for sharing, your personal information with us. JD, when was the first time that you heard about Himplant? Was that the first time you heard it from?
Yeah. So
ex-wife or
when she,
buddy?
Exactly. When she told me that he had one, and she was kind of you poke a bear in a cage 100 times and they just point when it growls, right? When you're going through divorce and a woman's left you for someone else, you're just kind of getting poked through the cage. And so I did do some research, because she did mention that he has this implant, and I had not heard anything about it. They'd referred to it as a sheath, like an underskin sheath. And so I started to do some research, and it seemed like quickly all arrows pointed to your invention, the work you've been doing, as being hands down the finest in the world. And so to be able to narrow it down, I'm only looking at the finest in the world. I'm Fortune 50 tech guy. I'm an auctioneer. I'm a successful man. And so why am I going to bother with anything but the finest option in the world? And that's obviously Himplant. And I want to go directly to the inventor yourself. And because why not? Then I know I'm getting all of the perfect factual information and the finest treatment.
Okay. What fears or doubts do you have about that? Do you have any fears and maybe something, this and that? Had there was any hesitation or anything? Or were you looking at any other option also? That was the only thing, that you were...
Now, I must admit, it is a little bit of a concern that there's going to be any kind of an operation in a sensitive area. But you know what? I've had anesthesia before. I've had a hernia stitch before, appendectomy, wisdom teeth. I've been put under before, and I know you don't feel anything. You wake up, it's done. I went to sleep. I woke up. I wasn't even in pain when I woke up, which, did it start yet? And so, yeah, there was a concern. I was very pleased that it's just a very, very minor incision. The soreness was way less than I had conjured in my mind. I could tell I'm healing very fast, and I'm glad I didn't get too hung up on anxiety or fear. There's no need to. If anybody is just overwhelmed with fear about this, I could just tell you there's no reason to at all whatsoever.
Great. Okay. JD, what was the change, your physical and mental after this procedure, emotional? And the physical situation that now you're looking at yourself, as well as on the emotional, mental. that you think about it. You're sitting and thinking, oh, guys,
Yes.
I did it. Okay, I did.
This is how I really know that you're really working in a future industry, a futuristic industry. And I think 10 years, 20 years from now, I think you're going to be just magnificently successful. I can feel, sense, and see the future in this, especially because both of my ex-wives happenstance had experiences with men with this type of implant. It must be one in a million, very rare circumstance. And we've laughed on it because it's just such a coincidence, right? And so, I was divorced in 2010, divorced in 2015. My other ex-wife got back with me years later, and my neighbor had got it done. She's my ex-wife from 16 years ago. So it's in her liberty if she wants to, she's my ex-wife. And so I come to find out that now both my ex-wives have had this extensive experience with men with the Himplant. And I can't get any attention. Hello. And they're just hooked on it, the girth, and it's just more pleasure, and it's more, and to never see a fully placid penis again, that has a magnificent impact on a woman. And this is probably the factor that I really had to dig up and soak in to get me on the airplane and get it done.
That's right. How's your confidence right now having that? Would you feel when you came here, compare yourself the day you walked into the office, the day, that now you're going to plane going back home?
I'm so upset with myself that I waited like 7 years. The neighbor did it 7 years ago. The husband of my other ex-wife, he did it 20 years ago. And so why did I wait 20 years? Why did I wait 7 years? If anybody watches this and you're waiting months, years, you just stop. Get the money together. It's very affordable. It's less than a low quality car. I think there's motorcycles that cost more. It's very, very affordable. And so I did it. I'm so glad I did. I'm just upset that I waited so many years because I just watched as the women in my life just naturally gave all of their attention and feminine energy to these men who had this extremely competitive advantage. And so eventually I reached the point where, hey, the only way I can get in the game and regain my confidence and have that competitive edge is if I, go ahead and book my appointment and get it done. And so now my confidence, you saw me when I first came in. I'm not smiling. I'm not laughing. I'm nervous. I've got deep problems in life with women, everything, right? Now I got a little spring in my step now, and I really think of it like James, the inventor, genius surgeon. You are doing more to improve men's lives on a deep psychological, emotional level than maybe any other man in the world from a scientific perspective. And nobody really sees it from that perspective, but I do.
And I think when you go to the gym now, you drop your towel intentionally just to get the revenge, just show.
Yeah, that's right. No more hiding, no more, exactly.
Any patient that they say, when I go to the gym now, intentionally I drop my towel, okay, because I want them to see what do I, okay.
I've always been thin, and I see stocky, girthy men in the gym, and I'm just thinking, oh, just because I'm thin, maybe I don't. But now, the girth that's on a thin frame is really magnificent as well.
It's very important for the partner. JD, if you talk to your friend right now, let's say one of your friends is sitting there, okay, and he's curious about Himplant, but is ashamed to ask, okay, how do you advise him? What do you tell him, okay?
That's a really good question. In my mind, I've met a dozen women with breast implants. They're happy about it. I think of it as somewhat similar. Hey, the women are getting it for the breast implants. Over time, it gives, a perky, healthier appearance. I think it's the same thing, for the penis. Hey, you get an implant in there. Now it's looking full, healthy. It takes on a younger look. The skin looks younger. The size is stunning, and the confidence, and you get a whole new spring in your step. And I think that, if anybody's worried about anything, I think that they're irrational fears. I think they truly are irrational fears. Maybe they have some family members who are, hemming and hawing, maybe tossing something negative. I say, you know what? Part of just being a man and being competitive in this world, like successful men like us, we have to block all of that negativity out, right? And we have to just execute those decisions ourselves, get on that phone, book that appointment, book that flight. I flew all the way from Washington State, direct flight, first class. That's how important it was to me. I booked a first class seat. I booked a nice hotel close by to the facilities. You just make it that important. I just block out the negativity. And so anybody concerned, I mean, that's what I would have to say to them.
Okay. JD, in one sentence, if you want to tell me what Implant gave back to you, what do you say?
Interestingly enough, I was able to expose it to my ex-wife, who did not know that the other gentleman had the implant. They successfully passed it off as natural for 7 years. And when I finally sat her down and told her that I have personal knowledge that this guy and his friend that you've been partaking with have this implant.
Oh, wow.
And
Wow.
she was only upset that it had been passed as natural that whole time. And so that had a very profound psychological impact on me. And, if I go fully flaccid, but it's normal,
Sure.
see, it's playing some Jedi mind tricks on women. And, hey, in the world of the United States, especially, maybe you need those nice shoes. Maybe you need that nice suit. Maybe you need the hair a certain way. Maybe you need that special glow. Maybe you need to hit the gym and get swollen up a little bit. I don't think it's any much difference that, oh, these guys have the implant. They never told her. She thought it was natural. What choice do I have now but to jump on the plane and get my implant? And I'm telling you, 10, 20 years down the road, this is going to be just as popular as breast implant.
That's great. Thank you very much. Okay. And you gained very good girth and length, and flaccid, and even increased more and more. And your girth, you're almost, you got 50% on both sides, and girth and that. So that is great. And
let's drive this home for the viewers, because this is amazing. I know a lot of you people watching this, you're thinking, oh, what do I get? A little half inch, just a little barely. No, guys. You're talking extra inches of girth. I mean, extra inches of girth is like this. Okay. So yeah, this is a big deal. This is not a waste of time. This is the serioso. This is the best. Instant results you can see. They're profound. I mean, it really looks doubled in size, and I'm not exaggerating at all.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate it.
A pleasure. This man is a genius. You come see James Elist. He's the inventor of the Himplant. I feel honored even to be able to sit down with you, sir.
Pleasure. I'm sure you help a lot of men internationally, because this is going to go viral, I'm sure. And we have centers out of United States also, as well as in the United States. We have many centers. I've been trained physicians, urologists out of United States and in the United States. And I'm sure your message is going to pass to every man, and they sit down and think about it, and they say, why? What is my implant? And that's what they
right.
What is my
His place should be booked for 3 years in advance. And you ask me, I'm trying to find out when the IPO is coming. I'm going to buy stock in the company, my good sir. Guys, schedule your Himplant. Get on the phone. Schedule some appointments, get your physical, get your blood work done, get your medicines lined up. You got to arrange someone to accompany you to the surgery center, a ride from the surgery center. It's very, very, very easy. They're so kind. They're going to provide you all of the information and instructions by email, and you're going to have the utmost care and precision in the hands of James Elist, the finest surgeon in the realm of these types of implants, hands down, bar none.
Thank you very much again. Really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.